This episode of After Dark is brought to you by Audible. For a free 30-day trial as well as free audiobook, head on over to audible.com/GameBreaker.
GameBreaker TV.
What's that sound?
What's that
noise?
Ticking noise?
Mike Shaftnit. Mike Shaftnit. Mike Shaftnit. Mike Shaftnit. What's up? What's up, everybody, and welcome to After Dark, the live call-in show where you guys call in live each and every week to answer your questions live here on the show. That's an inside joke. I encourage you guys to go check out. Kayla, you'll have plenty to say about it here. But first up, I want to introduce to you guys my one and only boo, Mr. Mike Byrne.
What's up, boo?
How's it going?
Oh, I love you. I love you. You're my boo.
Oh,
Always
sick.
be my boo.
You're my boo, Byrne. You're my boo.
you're my boy, Shaftnut. You're my boy.
And joining us as well, Nat from the guild, Kirk.
Yes.
Giggles. How's it going?
This
sir?
is Mike Bird's motto. You go blah 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 blah.
I received more tweets last week about that than practically anything I've ever put up, and every single hashtag was different. Nobody had
Not a single person had the correct anagram.
Yep, they were all different. It was awesome. I
gotta say,
Breaker Nation.
We all received a tweet pretty shortly after last week's show of
Amazing one.
An amazing someone out there took the time not only to get people together to make this picture happen, but just put their just wonderful touches on it. So if you guys have not, I can barely read the font here. I wish I could make it bigger here, but unfortunately I can't.
That's what. Never mind.
If you guys can't see here, I'll explain this for you. We got me in the center.
Because this is going to translate really well.
This is going to translate great.
Like,
me in the center, naked night elf, Shaftnit. And in the text, we got Shaftnit grinds on the mob. I'm just grinding them mobs. With itchy feels behind me. That's not Kiggles. I'm not sure who Itchy Feels is.
I'm not there.
But you are yelling me to go rank up in LoL.
I'm going to get group loot. That's what I'm going to do. I'm off in a raid getting group loot.
And we got Burn in the background screaming like an old man. Get the bleep. Or no, God bleep, get the bleep out of my MMO, because Burn doesn't like to socialize.
That is not what I said.
No, he doesn't.
That's not what I said at all.
He doesn't like
Burn
people,
doesn't like people.
and he doesn't want you getting any of his loot. He
That
is a
is
grumpy
not-
old Burn.
None of this is what I said. Period. It's not even close, you douches. Stop it. But that's a great picture.
Wonderful, wonderful picture. All right, let's go ahead and get into tonight's show. But I got just a quick announcement to make. It's kind of a sad one. Don't shed too much of a tear out there. I've got to say, tonight is actually going to be my last After Dark for the time being. I've got some stuff that I've got to go deal with, and am going to have to be stepping down for a little bit. I'm not sure what's going to be happening with the show for future weeks. I will be sure to let all of you guys know as we figure out the fates. However, I've got some things that I need to go take care of, and unfortunately, this will be my last show tonight. So again, I appreciate everybody who's been following this show since the beginning, back when this was me and Josh and Darnell, and then it turned into me and Josh, and then these wonderful additions came on and made the show what it is now, just an epic Tuesday night of craziness. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. It's meant a lot to me, and hopefully as things go forward, I'll see you guys again. So, with that being said, a little bit of a downer note, but let's go ahead and get us back on the
But you're
the
my
crazy
boo.
train. But
My boo.
burr.
My boo.
we support you. We support you in your drug rehab.
Yes.
So you go take care of yourself.
Thanks for outing me. Thanks for outing me, Kiggles. Gosh.
Oh shit. Half-Life 3 confirmed. R.I.P. Dyrus.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the lines. I'm not sure who we've got on the line. I know we've got someone coming in with actually 3 questions tonight, really rocking it up. I don't know if this is actually the person.
Going pro League of Legends is what's happening, guys.
You
he's
cannot
decided
go pro from
he needs to turn pro.
They won't even let you work at
Bronze
Riot
League
if
pro
you're not
right
a gold. Oh.
I can't do After Dark anymore, guys. I'm going pro.
Caller on the line with Game Break After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question. Hello? Yes, yes. No, no. Maybe. All right. Well, for the time being, let's go ahead and throw it over to a Twitter question, and we will try and get this technical difficulty
They were probably
situated.
crying so hard that you're leaving.
too busy sobbing here. Hollowshine asked over on Twitter, he said, rather than faster content, should MMOs focus on building stronger guild communities to keep players, quote, addicted? What do you guys think? Is guild community is what keeps you guys coming back? I get it's always better to play an MMO with friends, except unless you're Burn, you don't want to play with anyone. But are friends what keep you addicted, or is it part of the gameplay?
Yes. If I didn't have a guild to raid with in WoW, I wouldn't have been playing for the past, I don't know, year and a half. That's the only I don't play WoW anymore unless I'm raiding or going in and doing my farms or doing something with the people in my guild. And I really like if that was to ever not be a thing anymore, if the guild was to stop raiding or disband, I would probably not pay for it anymore. And I have no need to find another guild or be competitive, like be hardcore raider anymore. So, yes. The answer to the question is the answer that's not it's not the company's concern to. I mean, it's their concern to make it guild friendly, but no, they should be content focused, and the content should allow guilds to blossom. That they can aid in it, but they shouldn't have a direct no. Does that make any sense?
I think too. Well, I mean, yes, I think guild communities aid in that aspect, but I think that you're right in a term of gameplay. But I'll even go one step farther and say, for me, and I get it, not everyone's like me, because not everyone thinks Tibia is the most amazing video game in the world, right, Burn?
Not everybody can turn pro.
So,
I apologize. My beagle is apparently going ape shit upstairs. So the dog bark, that's me. I apologize.
So, I mean, just referring back to the question, he says to keep players addicted. And me, myself, I'm most addicted when the game is like impossibly hard. I loved thinking back to my most addicted stage, the stage of World of Warcraft, the stage of MMOs when I almost burned my house down because I put a pot of ramen on and forgot that I did it, and the water boiled out and the ramen started caramelizing at the bottom of the pan. That I think is addicted. So
how does caramelized ramen taste?
Disgusting.
I almost died in a house fire. This is the greatest MMO ever.
So that I think for me that's the level of acknowledging when I was addicted to this game, to these types of games. And for me back then, what it was it wasn't the players. I loved the people that I was playing with. They helped make the experience enjoyable, but it was my drive and desire to want the best stuff, to want the best gear, to want to be in the best raid. And the fact that it was so hard to attain kept me addicted because I couldn't ever fulfill that goal.
They got you hooked on the stick and carrot, huh? You were just chasing
but
that carrot to hell and back.
That's so important to MMOs, and people might hate it, and game developers might be trying to come up with other ways to allow people, like what Blizzard's doing with LFR and Flex, I think is great. for the people like me now who don't have the time to do that. But I will stand and say that my desire to fall into that addictive nature is a little bit satiated because I don't have to. In order to see Garrosh die, I don't have to be committed to a raid 3 nights a week, raiding each and every week. I don't have to. So I've been able to lose that drive, and I've been able to become okay with my busier schedule and not be so addicted. So yes, I think the carrot on the stick is massively important to keeping players addicted.
Well, the thing is, it's you that way is one way. The other way is my way. Like, I was just like you, I don't know, back in Burning Crusade. I was, okay, I want to be the best raider. I want all the good stuff.
I was like you, then I grew up.
Yes. Yes. Then I grew from a young man.
Then I started playing RPGs.
That's right. You have to group up to play this fucking RPG. Bird. No, but the thing is, my point is, MMOs can create cooperative content. Yes, Burn, grouping up, raiding, grouping up. If they make it like, and the thing is, we'll take Blizzard for an example. They've made raiding less hardcore. As such, they've kind of diluted the guild. Like, you can be as hardcore as you want to be, but you don't have to be as hardcore as you want to be. You don't have to be hardcore at all to see all of the content, besides the heroic stuff.
Burn, what about you? I know you hate people, you hate groups.
You're not a
you're not a strong community player
at all.
You hate all of GBN. You hate the concept.
You know what? Good luck going pro. That's good luck. Good. No, I like group content. I just hate when people say you can't. If you want to play something solo, you shouldn't be in an MMO. Go back and watch last week's episode so you know these guys are just freaking maniacs here. Go watch it.
Oh yeah, we're the maniacs, right? Okay.
In short, the answer to the question is no. Should developers sacrifice content in exchange for focusing on more guild-oriented activities? The answer is no, 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 no. Yes, it is nice to have guild-oriented activities. Yes, it is nice to have group stuff, and we all form those relationships and have fun playing it. But if you sacrifice speed of content in favor of more things for guilds to do, you alienate the vast majority of your players who are not in large guilds, who are not in hardcore raiding groups. We are the MMO, anomaly. We're not the majority as much as we would like to think we are. We're not. We follow MMOs. We play them all the time. We play multiple MMOs at once. And most of the viewers watching this type of show on GameBreaker, predominantly an MMO portal, play the same way we do. We're not the majority. You can't sacrifice faster content for the minority.
I don't think those are mutually exclusive, though. I don't think that. I think you can
but
put
the question put them mutually exclusive.
I know, but I don't agree with the premise of the question.
Okay, well, that's fine. But my answer to the question is correct the way the question words. You're wrong.
Whatever. Go play your solo content.
You're right,
you know what? Here's what I like, though. Here's what I like, though. You son of a bitch. You're going to start this, but you answered first. You said yes, and then you changed your own answer to no, and now you're giving me flack for saying no.
No, I wasn't. My logic was completely consistent throughout all of the 7 answers that I gave. I don't know what you're talking about.
And chat brings up a good point that WildStar seems to be doing both of these well. Yes, the question was mutually exclusive, one or the other. The real answer, as chat points out, is maybe a game like WildStar that seems to be catering to a hardcore guild-oriented content while still keeping the game accessible for somebody that wants to play on a more casual schedule. Hopefully they can pull that off, because that's the ultimate solution. I totally agree with you, Kiggles. I just kind of wanted to bust your chops a little bit. That the answer is dead in the middle. You're right on.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the lines one more time. I think we got our tech issues figured out. We got a caller on the line, so caller, you're on the line with GameBreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
My name is Not a Tank. I'm from Silverman. I actually have 3 questions for you tonight.
Wonderful. I hear they're from your guild, so thank you for throwing those to your guild.
Yeah,
We'll
I
allow
heard collar issues, so I opened my fat mouth and told my guild I was going to be on, and then I had to turn on the dum-dum filter and pick you some good ones.
Well, yeah, I mean, as Byrne and both our producer behind the scenes Q said, we'll allow it.
We'll allow it.
We'll allow it.
All right, my first question is for me. Lately in LFR, I've been noticing a lot of tanks that'll queue up and start DPSing, and a lot of healers that'll queue up and start DPSing. What's a possibility you see of in the future? You queue up for DPS, you show up and you spawn in LFR, and you're locked into a DPS spec. You queue up as a healer, you spawn, you're locked into a healing spec.
Okay, so my gut reaction to this was we would never see a solution because this has been a problem for a long time now, and I don't think that I was like I don't see it going away. But you bring up a good solution there, whereas you get locked into the situation that you queue as. I think the counter problem to that, before I throw to you guys and you guys can give your input, is Blizzard specifically. Because I feel like you're talking about World of Warcraft. Blizzard specifically isn't going to want. Well, I guess any MMO, any MMO company, I think, is not going to want to restrict the options that you have in raid, because what if for whatever reason, yes, someone queued as a healer, but God knows why in LFR you just don't have enough DPS, and it's flat, and one of the healers is flexible enough to shift to a DPS spec in order to help the raid. You would be castrating that ability for players to do that, which I don't think the developer would want to do. What do you guys think?
Final Fantasy XIV does this. Their queuing system allows you to queue as a specific job, and then you can switch jobs while you're waiting for the queue to pop, but once the queue pops, you cannot accept it in any other job than the one you initially queued for, and once in the instance, you can't change jobs, period. So there are games that do that. Back to the question at hand, though, would we see Blizz do it? No.
Well, I don't think he was talking even... I don't think... Well, yeah, hang on, caller, you're still there. Do you think, were you talking specifically for Blizzard, or just in general?
I was talking specifically for Blizzard, but I'm open to other games.
Okay, so go ahead, Bird.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy is an example of one that actually does that, and it puts it exactly at that line. Pick your class, queue up for it, that's all you're doing. And it works for Final Fantasy, but they started that way. Specifically, Blizzard, I don't think we would see, Shafnit, I think you're kind of dead on here. I don't think we would see a limiting factor from Blizz that would do this, because everything Blizz has done in the last 1.5 to 2 years has been about making that raid more accessible and more diverse, and being able to do it with a mixed number of players and a different role set, and being able just, it's so flexible now that that's been their whole drive over the last 1.5, 2 years, is to make it flexible. They're not going to then turn around and say, you know what, let's lock the roles in place too. I think we're a bit too far down the flexible path for that.
Well, this is specifically about LFR though, and the thing is, if they're queuing as a tank or healer and then they're DPSing, they're trying to subvert the system, and they're not only screwing themselves, but they're also screwing 24 other people potentially in the raid. Because if you don't have two tanks for some fights, you're not gonna be able to do the fight. So, is it a good idea? Yes. Do I think it's gonna happen? No.
So we agree. So we just got there differently.
Don't we always?
Well, real quick then. Real quick though, I guess Byrne, since you have experience with both, as both a WoW player and, you know, heavy Final Fantasy
Because I'm an
player.
MMO slut.
I do too now. Hey, I am a level 50, but I haven't
Okay,
paid.
well, either way, I'll throw this to either of you then. Where do you think the experience ends up being better? Sure, maybe WoW can't make the shift, but where do you think the experience is benefiting better? Is it smarter for games to have set up the system from the get-go and lock it in place? Are the dungeon experiences more reliable that way?
It works for Final Fantasy for a number of reasons. One of the ones you just pointed out is that everybody has a dedicated role, and everybody knows what everybody's going to be doing from the onset, and there's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes about it. But it does come with the downside of there is no flexibility, right? And the one problem that Final Fantasy is having right now is queue times are ridiculous because we have not only do we have the typical tank and healer shortage, right, that every MMO has, but because you are locked into specific roles and the party sizes for light parties are smaller than other MMOs, we have real problems with queue times because there's absolutely no flexibility in that. You know what? These people have multiple 50s. Let's throw them into a party and they can sort out the roles. We don't have that flexibility. What you queue with is what you get. It works in Final Fantasy, but only because it was set up that way from the beginning. I don't think an MMO would have much luck implementing that after the fact. Not just Blizz, but any MMO.
That's the original reason I became a healer, was because queue times for DPS was ridiculous, and also our guild needed more healers. But queuing as heals is so fast; it's so much faster. And also, you also know the quality. Like they're going to get a quality healer when I'm healing because I'm very good. But someone brings up
We're
a good point in
modest tonight.
chat.
What was that?
Luna Light said that I could see locking in tanks and heals, and I actually agree with that. That would be a good implementation in LFR specifically for Blizzard. Locking in, if you're going to be a tank and healer and you're going to queue as a tank and healer, you cannot change specs as a tank or a healer. Now, if a DPS wanted to change to a heals or a tank, that would be fine. But once they change there, they can't go back. Do you understand what I'm saying? I would actually agree with that. That is a very good point.
Okay. I was just saying, Kiggles is being real let's go on to question 2. Do you think they'll introduce more classes into the game? And if so, which classes would you like to see? And yes, we're rolling on Fantasy Island here, so something outrageous would not be
Ogre and Naga, like everybody. Oh wait, those are races.
classes.
Yeah, because the classes right now are so balanced that they need to introduce more.
What
Although they might be balanced now
let's-
that Ghost Crawler isn't there anymore.
Oh,
Hey,
shut
you never
up.
know.
But now Riot and League is
Oh my God.
totally screwed.
So let's
the ratios
just
are gonna
let's
get-
already play the card that classes aren't balanced. They don't need another class. It's hard enough to balance. Blah blah blah. Let's throw those arguments out, and let's just go with the idea of: is there a class you would like to see added to the game, whether it's needed or not?
Yep.
What would you like to see added? Anyone? Anything? I think a lot of
What
people.
happened to-
I
hero
do have
classes.
one. I do have one that I've always wanted added to WoW from way back when, and that was a bard type character, something hybrid and support based. That wasn't a healer, wasn't a DPS. It was the buffer, debuffer. I want a bard type character. Yeah,
Aren't Fistweavers sort of kind of feeling that role right now?
kind of. Yeah, but again, there's no definition. It's kind of a which way did you spec? Okay, great. Then please use this on us. Where I'm envisioning a bard as more. Oh shit, we have a bard. Great, that means we're gonna get these debuffs, these buffs. Just something a little more support in. It doesn't even have to be a bard. I like hybrid roles like that.
No, I can't
so-
remember.
That's
I can't
what I do
remember if
as a
you talked about
disc-based.
something like that as on
Yeah,
Legendary.
true.
I feel like on Legendary, it was Legendary, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about the idea of implementing a support class, like it was something that was a possibility. Now, obviously, we're not getting it here in Warlords of Draenor. But are you able to? Well, you know, everybody would go back and say that's shamans and paladins and trying to think of any other
Druids.
druids, major support classes back in the day, but the gameplay wasn't dynamic enough, and it didn't feel fun enough as the three core classes that have come to be
you
the
also had
Trinity.
the hybrid. You also had the hybrid tax though back in the day that they weren't. If they weren't going to be a better healer than a dedicated healer, and they weren't going to be a better DPS than a dedicated DPS. So why bring
trees.
them? They're useless because they're not doing, because you're going to get better of one thing out of one person. And I get the idea of a hybrid, but it doesn't work in because of all the min-maxing and all that stuff. But I want to talk about what happened to the hero class. What happened to the hero classes in WoW?
Exactly.
Death Knights were a heroic class. There's been no heroic classes since. What happened to that?
I think I don't know, caller. Even if you have an idea, go ahead and chime in. But my gut is going to
Well-
be here. Okay, actually, go ahead. What do you think happened to the hero classes?
I think what happened to hero classes is that Blizzard realized if we give somebody, and you're going to see this with the level 90 purchases probably as well, they realized, hey, if we start somebody at level 55, everybody's going to jump on that bandwagon initially, and only about 1 in about 30 are going to know how to play that class, and it's going to put a bad taste in everybody's mouth for that class, which is the case with Death Knights still. I mean,
Death Knights originally had the prerequisite that you had to get to level 55 first, or 60 first. That was why it was considered a
Yeah,
hero
but
class.
everybody rolled one as an alt, and nobody learned to play them. You know what I mean? 1 in 10
Can I ask a
players
question though?
actually
And
learn to
I'm
play
not
them.
I'm not like super WoW lore. I mean, I'm casually
go ahead.
WoW lore guy. But doesn't the automatic level 90 thing kind of negate a hero class to begin with now?
It does.
The ability to take any class straight to 90 for a one time or for a cash purchase.
I think that the
Does, and
concept
initially in World War it's going to be hero.
the
Right.
concept of hero class, I think, was attractive to a lot of us back when the Death Knight was launched, because at the time it meant we were getting this new, like, it was a class that was like no holds bar. It was going to be difficult to play. It was going to be powerful because you had to have the experience of playing. And it, a lot of people would say the Death Knights were extremely powerful when they were first introduced, but that's, I think, a lot of classes due to balancing issues as they try and tune. And over the course of time, does anybody even consider Death Knight to be a hero class anymore? It's just another
No.
class that you skip 1 to 55, because
It's
at
another
the
tune they look at and go, why aren't you tanking?
right, well, because at the end of the day, in both a PvE and PvP scenario, they can't create this powerful end-all be-all hero class that I think came with the allure of it to make it worth creating an entirely different class. Now the
Well,
other
they
problem
can.
here, the other problem here that I think that they could do that would make it interesting, that I think, again, some people would say, well, hero class was more just about the idea of unlocking a class. So some people would say, well, why don't you just allow me to unlock a new class? And it's like, okay, well, that's what they did kind of with Death Knight, but then also to
Sort of kind of like a, I hate to rip into Star Wars, but kind of like an advanced class.
and this is where I was going to say is the problem with that
You could say.
is they can't just create one advanced class. You can't be playing a druid and then upgrade to an archdruid, because then everybody's going to be like, well, fucking druids get to upgrade. Why don't priests? And then on top of that, if you're a druid, you're going to be pretty much required to upgrade to an archdruid. Or if it's not
Get
just
those
one
min-maxers.
upgrade, they've got to create 2 upgrades. Now they got to create 2 extra classes per every core class, and then it's just going to spiral out of control. Because then what about the people who don't want to upgrade? What if you like being a druid? Well, now they've got to balance all of the base level classes with all the advanced level classes, and I think it just spirals out of control from there. And I think that's why we're kind of seeing the idea of hero class disappear. That's my thought. I don't know. What do you guys think?
A couple of ideas for
Bard.
classes that came in from my guild. One was a shield bearer, class that only uses shields. I shield in both hands. And another one was a necromancer, a dedicated minion class.
But now,
Yeah,
how do you?
That's one that I would like to, but that's kind of like
I
second
would-
or third on my list.
I would rock a shield bearer. I've been tanking for a long time, and that'd be fun just
How
to
do you-
rock 2 shields.
How do you balance a shield bearer when it comes to PvP? I get it. I get the idea of a
Yeah.
shield bearer is meant to be extremely strong. He's all this defense. It's great for the idea of PvE, but it's going to be that concept is going to be impossible to balance in PvE.
Yeah, well,
PvP.
fuck PvP. I'm sorry, but I am so fucking tired of this sacrificing PvE for PvP balance. Fuck that shit. PvP, the thing they should have done at the beginning when you install PvP into a game is make that completely separate from the PvE. I am so tired of shit getting fucked in PvE for the sake of PvP balance.
But this doesn't screw over PvE in that sense. It just like it changes the way that their development is. Like
Well,
there's
yeah.
no need for a shield bearer because at its core it's a tank, and we already have tanks set up that can be double dip into both. You can't create this purely amazing defensive class that's all about defense, because it doesn't affect. They're not. I don't know. I think I'm rambling there. I don't think I'm making.
You're
a point.
rambling. And Mike,
Oh my God, my train of thought derailed.
Fantasy Island,
Oh
where we get
damn.
dumpster.
Sorry, what was
I
that
think
caller?
when Wrath of Heroes comes out, they should just take PvP out of WoW. It's just go to Wrath of Heroes.
Here's of the
I
storm.
said you
Yeah,
are
that's
rambling,
whatever.
Mike. And I said you are rambling, Mike, and we're living on Fantasy Island, remember? So everything's balanced.
That's
perfect.
true. That's true. So that's
So-
I think what's going on with hero classes. What about the third question?
Third question is it's kind of a hark back to the old days and then coming back to the last expansion as well. If you remember back in Vanilla, Shaman were tanks. If you look back in this expansion, Warlocks are kind of pseudo tanks. Highly geared Warlocks are tanks at 5-mans. Do you ever see them being viable raid tanks again or in the future?
No.
No. I think
No.
Blizzard wanted to play with them to be that. I mean, look back at what Metamorphosis was during. I think it was MOP. It might have been Cataclysm.
It was
If
MOP.
they changed the enhancement tree to actually like a dedicated tank tree, then yes. But they're not going to do that.
It'd be so fun though. Did you ever tank as a
It
Shaman?
would. No. It was a
blast.
I have. Yeah, you put on a shield and you put your rock fighter on and you're good. But
Rock around and hit things.
I think I get where you're going with that, and again, it's just for the sake of PvP, shit has to be like this. Again, why aren't Warlocks given more tanky stuff? Because then they would be ridiculous in PvP. This
They
is
were
the whole
ridiculous.
reason.
Beta was stupid with them.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, this is why. Like, all of this stuff could be tinkered with and could be experimented with if there was no PvP in the game. But there's PvP in the game, so PvP nerds are gonna bitch that, oh, blah 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 class is overpowered. They need to get nerfed. The nerf pad needs to be hit on them hard because PvP is the be all end all of WoW. That's what WoW is for. Stupid fucking PvP. I'd rather go slam my dick in a door.
All right, let's go ahead and open up the
Mine-
calls to this. That's gonna be very disturbing if this is the burn that we deal with now for the rest of the show. We got another caller on the line. Let's go ahead and open up the line and take one more call. Not one more call. We got a couple more calls to get through today. So go ahead, caller, you're on the line with GameBreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hello, I'm Christian from Chicago.
How's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty good. My question today is with Ubisoft dropping the Watch Dogs trademark, what does this mean for the game? Are they just simply changing the name of the game, or are they releasing the trademark because the game is actually titled Watch_Dogs?
The last update I saw on that was that they did not drop the trademarks. They were claiming that the signature on there was not valid and the dropping of the trademarks was not a request they made. Was there an update after that?
I have not been paying attention too close to it.
Trying to pull it up. Oh, here we go. Great. Here it is. Yeah, so the original story was that, according to a post, Ubisoft had dropped the trademarks related to Watch Dogs, blah, 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 blah. An update came out after that said an appeal was filed with USPTO by Ubisoft Entertainment's attorney to repeal the trademark abandonment, stating that Yves Guillemot did not actually sign the request for abandonment despite it appearing so. And their quote was, Mr. Guillemot, I apologize if I'm butchering that, however, did not sign the request for express abandonment, nor did Ubisoft Entertainment file the request for express abandonment. The request for express abandonment is fraudulent and was not filed by Ubisoft Entertainment or its representatives. So
they're keeping it.
They're keeping it.
Well, that destroys any speculation I have dead in the water. So let's go ahead and move on to the next question. But before we do, I want to tell you guys about a amazing sponsor that we have here at GameBreaker, the one and only Audible.com. Guys, if you have not checked out Audible.com, I don't know what you're waiting for. You've been hearing us talk about Audible for months now, and I don't know why you haven't tried it if you have not already. It's a free trial as well as free audiobook. And guys, it's a great service. Everyone, every single one of you, I promise you, could increase your productivity to listen to a book. I guarantee you can get through at least one book a month if you try this service, and you could expand your horizons to some great topics. I know that there's so many books out there. I myself am actually listening to one of the Dave Ramsey books about financial planning and budgeting, which gets kind of deep and crazy, but they've got a lot of awesome video game related content. A lot of you guys out there, we have Star Wars, the Republic. They've got Star Wars books. They've got Diablo books. A lot of you guys have been calling and asking us right now about World of Warcraft. They've got World of Warcraft books, and I know a lot of you guys have not checked these out. This Shadows of the Horde was a great book that was actually given to me by Blizzard when I was visiting, and I feel really bad because I listened to the audiobook over cracking open the pages and reading it, because it was just so much easier for me to listen to it in the car while I was driving to work. And if I was to have my face buried in a book while I'm driving a car, I'd probably kill someone. So Audible was just great. You guys can listen to it while you're questing, while you're going through dungeons. Maybe you just want to listen to it before you go to bed. But they've got so many different books, and they do a great job of updating it. This one right here, Dawn of the Aspects, only came out, I believe, a month and a half ago. And they already got it up on Audible. So they're really fast about getting new books out there. I know previously they had the Hunger Game books up on there, as well as Ender's Game. They've got a lot of the movie adaptation books that are actually coming to theater. So if you guys ever wanted to check up on the book before actually watching the movie, it's a great way to do that. So head on over if you guys have not checked it out already. I promise you'll be satisfied. You've got nothing to lose. You get a free 30-day trial as well as a free audiobook. So head on over to audible.com/GameBreaker. All right, let's go ahead and open up the lines one more time. Not one more time, I guess 2 more times. Let's go ahead and open up the lines to the caller. Caller, you're on the line with GameBreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and tell us your question.
Hey guys, it's Total Deletion from Washington State, and I got an interesting question. It's kind of deep, so here it goes. What kind of games have you guys played in your past, be it childhood or recent, that you guys have taken something, I guess, critical, like some sort of attribute or like life lesson that you carried over to your adult years? I guess the biggest example I can give is, like, I'm really a huge fan of the Kingdom Hearts series. I especially like the resonating story of the struggles between light and dark and the powers of friendship. It's kind of weird, I know, grew up with this stuff, but is there any games or genres of stories that really hit home for you guys? No, you can't choose Zelda. Nothing resonates in those games.
Everything resonates in Zelda.
No.
Get out.
No.
Everything does. I'm going to travel through time when I'm 7 years old. 7 years old? I think it was 7. I know it was 7 years. I don't know. Replaying Ocarina of Time, and just want to say that's the greatest game of all time. So what about what attributes?
Really?
Shut up, Total! Shut up! Get back to work. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, attributes, life lessons learned. I think that a lot of us can probably attribute MMOs specifically, and I think that I've always had this standpoint with MMOs because a lot of people get down on what they do to people, but I think that they can have a lot of good, and you guys will easily back me up on this in terms of I think that certain people who take guild leadership or raid leadership roles really get to flex their ability in a leadership role, and you'd be surprised how well that can translate over to maybe a job. Maybe it's a manager position, or maybe it's taking on your own projects. And I think that the life lessons you learn in dealing with 9 or 24 other people translates over into managing and leading a team into the real world. And I think that's one thing that easily can transcend for any of those players, is as well as social, like just I almost said socialism, as well as the social aspect of it. I think that a lot of players, a lot of MMO players, don't stone me, but a lot of us are introverted and not maybe the best, or maybe could be considered socially awkward in public situations. And I've seen so many people in public situations suddenly be able to pull themselves into a social group, a social conversation. I've spoken randomly to the people standing around me at Warp Tour because all of a sudden World of Warcraft came up, and I was like, World of Warcraft, what? Like, let's talk. And then you just start talking to a stranger. Like, I think that it does. It helps, you know, people. It helps give people a common ground to start relating and start socializing with other people. You guys are laughing at me. I'm being dead serious.
No,
He
we
snorted!
were. I
He so
snorted.
snorted!
I completely agree with you. I
So what
don't
about-
have anything. Yes.
What about you guys though? I mean, that's MMOs, and I think that those concepts easily, I think every MMO player can say. But you know, Total's question talks about games in general because he spoke about the Kingdom Hearts series. Was there anything in any other game that you guys kind of found were life lessons?
I like how Shafnit, he was like, I'm just gonna take MMOs, I'm gonna take Zelda, I'm gonna take everything off the table.
Just wanted it all. Just wanted
Gotta-
So
gotta
you
answer
guys
that.
got to come up with something
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
I
about
think
you guys,
one
but
of
I learned from Zelda never to trust red-haired Druidians because they're probably gonna end up taking
there
over
are some,
the
there are
Triforce
some
of Power.
great recommendations in chat, such as Mario Teaches Typing taught me a lot. The Final Fantasy series taught me religion sucks, kill your gods. That's a fair assessment of the Final Fantasy series. So yeah, there's a lot in there. I think mine would have to be Marble Madness. The intricacies of that game and the parallels with real life were just astonishing. There's the vacuum cleaner, right? Sucks you up because life sucks sometimes. Life sucks sometimes. Every once in a while, you'll get the magic wand above your head, and all of a sudden, you've got more time. Because sometimes fairies help you out. That's just the way life works sometimes. So I think Marble Madness
Isn't that what I do here?
that's you help me out every day, Kiggles. Every day. And I thank you for it. You're the magic wand above my marbles.
Oh, I learned this. This is what I learned.
Hang on. You have to group to find. No, you have to.
You have to
group
group
the F
The
up
fuck
to
up to
par-
play
to
this.
play this RPG. That's what it is.
Okay, but just delete RPG and put in life.
There you
Everything, if you group up, everything is better. It's easier. Did you know that? No man is an island. You didn't build that.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and turn pro too.
go. Yeah, you might want to. I'll send some
I
links
have
your way.
finally achieved the impossible. I have killed After Dark.
I will be your jungler, chef.
Oh yes, I also learned that if someone insta-locks support fiddle,
Kill yourself.
take
Take the dodge.
Take your
the
meds.
Q dodge.
take your meds.
All right, we got one more caller. Final Mike Schaffnet After Dark call.
For now.
Let's go ahead and open up the lines and see what this caller has asked. So, caller, you're on the line with GameBreaker After Dark. Tell us your name, tell us where you're from, and God, I hope you got a good one because there's a lot of pressure on you.
Oh, gee, thanks, Shafnet. This is
Kemper called.
But I'm honoring
you. Sorry, I was bugging. I was bugging you before the show started, so that's why I'm so excited.
Okay.
Anyway.
So, my question is, I'm inviting you to put on your rose-tinted glasses here and look at back at the
Tibia.
games you used to play.
Tibia.
Yeah,
Tibia.
don't even ask. It's tibia. It doesn't matter what the hell the question
what
is
some
now.
feature or like game mode that you haven't experienced in games in a while that you miss? Like maybe it's 40-man raiding, or for me in Final Fantasy 11, you could solo monsters that were like intended to take a group to kill. What's yours?
No, are we talking MMOs or can this go into other games?
It can go into any other games. If you liked being a blue hedgehog running around without any storyline, that
Ooh,
works.
Man, old Sonic was so good.
Oh, it was so good.
Do you guys need a moment? Both of you were like, "Oh God, that was so good."
Well, honest to God, and I'm sorry, I gotta say Tibia.
So
I
good.
want
God.
not the cores of the gameplay, but there is one element. Whatever. I'm taking over the camera. Screw you guys. I am perfectly fine and okay, and I've even talked to Gary about it on Legendary about bringing in PvP only gear that you get from the new island that you can wear anywhere in the world, but. And it's powerful. It's really powerful world PvP gear. The only downside is when you die, you lose it or you drop it. And I like that idea of the fear of death, because that's why Tibia honestly resonates so deep with me. I can remember those times when I went too far into a cave and my heart started, like, I was like, oh my god, there's a demon after me or a necromancer, and like my health was down. I bit off more than I can chew, but it wasn't it was honest to God the fear of dying, because dying lost you experience, it lost you all of your items and a chance to lose your equipment. And I get it, like that's not the way to best make it doesn't have to be all those elements, but that feeling of being so attached that dying in an RPG not only scared me, but actually mattered and came into the way that I actually walked around caves. I don't have that in MMOs anymore. And nowadays, in modern or not modern MMOs, but in
they have that.
AAA
They
MMOs,
have that in games, right? You can go onto Steam, and a lot of some of the indie games have that.
Sure. I just haven't played them. I want to see them in my MMOs.
Also, Phil's favorite game, Diablo 3.
He would rather see it in text form, like in Tibia was.
You
Yeah, but you don't lose your-
You gotta
the thing
talk
is,
to
you
the
don't-
person by actually typing to the NPC.
The thing is, you don't lose your gear anymore. Do you remember in Diablo 2, you actually had to go back and reclaim your corpse?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you actually had to go back and get your shit if you died. You don't have to do that anymore in Diablo 3. It's just that's what Blizzard does. They Blizzard everything. They Blizzard it with easy sauce, and then everything is good.
I'm not.
They just
all
come,
right,
they just come in and they sprinkle a little bit of Blizzard.
The easy
For
sauce.
the record,
A little bit
yeah.
of Blizzard for you.
For the record, I'm not the one calling Blizzard out here. I'm just talking about the idea that I want to see it in games, because like I said, I like.
I agree with you
that
though. That would be
feeling.
a great feature. Like, that would make it feel like you would get more invested in your character because you only have one life to live.
God.
There's something fitting
But I
about
get it.
it. Last
I
question
actually
is of
think
being
that
Tibia.
penalizing for deaths and stuff, there should, like, I get it. And that doesn't happen in Diablo anymore either. You used to lose experience. You wouldn't lose a level, but you'd lose experience if you died.
And can I just make this rant about World of Warcraft? I think this would help reinvigorate world PvP. It would incentivize the people who want the gear to go out and get it. And then they'd use it because it's very powerful, very strong, like really good gear. But then it would incentivize people to come to the rescue of the people getting killed, because you can make that person feel like shit when you kill them and they lose all their gear. So it would, and it would be a never-ending cycle, because they'd lose the gear, and then if they wanted it again, they'd have to go out and grind it again, and then it would cultivate it.
You're the person that kills someone and then teabags their corpse, aren't you? And WoW.
Damn
That's
straight
who you
I
are.
used to be
That's
until
who you
World
are.
PvP died. I got my friend, I got one of my closest friends kicked out of his guild because I was on Skype with him. I was like, get your guild leader over here. And he's like, what? Why? I was like, just do it. Bring your guild leader over here. He was like, no,
Oh my
dude. You're like, you're going to kill him. I was like, no. It'll be fine. It'll be hilarious. His guild leader drops to the ground, and I practically one-shot him, and he, and like 10 seconds later, he gets kicked from the guild.
Another question, Mike, is your new main Teemo?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
Teemo
God,
is
no.
so broken. Fuck that Yordle.
So it is funny that you bring up death penalties, because on XIV right before the show, one of the topics was the fact that we think there should be increased death penalties in XIV. So that's kind of funny. To answer the caller's question, which we kind of went way off.
Who cares? It's Pepper.
I'm going to go back to Final Fantasy XI 2 and NM hunting before bots and plugins for Windor got a hold of the entire thing.
Let's be honest, that always existed.
Well, yes, before it was dominant. Let's say that. Before it was dominant, you still had a chance by just playing the game. There was just nothing that beat that feeling of seeing you got the tag after farming particular mobs for hours and hours and hours on end, and then hoping that you could survive the fight, and then also would be lucky enough to get the drop. I would never want to see it implemented in another MMO the way it was in 11, because I don't have an interest in doing it anymore. But
Does that
your words, rose-colored glasses, back then, that was my shit, man. I loved it.
Does that go back? That's interesting to hear you say that, because I think that goes even back to what I was saying earlier about the grind and the carrot, because that sounds exactly like what that is. They're just creating this system for you to spend a long time for an ultimate payoff, but it kept you invested. It kept you addicted enough because you never want to do it again, but it still kept you invested and you enjoyed it. It's interesting to hear you say that. So
You're absolutely
My
right.
one-
But Final Fantasy, they need to bring the carrot a little bit closer, make it a little bit more in reach.
I'm not sure.
My I don't know where I was reading this. I think maybe on the WoW forums or somewhere on Reddit, that WoW, that Blizzard really they stuck their finger in it when they started opening up realms, when it started not being realm specific, because realms used to have like specific servers, and realms used to have an identity, and you used to have rivalries with other.
Oh, get
and
the
the
hell
thing,
out of here.
no,
This is another MMO bullshit piece I don't buy. Come on.
No. So my feature is more global things like the war effort in vanilla, where it was a server thing. That was, you actually had more camaraderie because the server was working towards a specific goal. There's
But why
no
can't
more
why
that,
can't
there's
why
no more
can't-
of that stuff in WoW, at least, and there's no more like that I see. That's actually, that transcends guilds, and the whole server is working towards a goal.
some would say that servers have the best rating guilds, certain servers, and now, yeah, I get it, they're merged with having multiple realms, but that is just the same. Whether it's Twisted Nether Sargeras or just Twisting Nether, you still have that identity. I don't know if I can buy that, but I can agree that they're not doing as many events that besides like rating. We're the server first rating server.
Well, that's why. But see, that's why the Cataclysm didn't work at all for me, because it wasn't. There was no. There was no. It all it was you're redoing the maps. So and you encountered Deathwing in certain areas. The Cataclysm did not feel cataclysmic to me, because there was no. It didn't feel like it was world changing. It just didn't.
Well, but okay. So this is getting way off topic. What about the direction of where you think Warlords of Draenor is going? Is that going to be world changing? Are they going to take those lessons and apply it properly?
I don't know.
He doesn't.
I don't think that. I don't know, because they're making more individual stuff. It's all more individual stuff. It's not, besides raiding and group quests. There's no more group quests. There's no more having to look for people to do group quests. It's all not this. WoW is turning into the antithesis of this.
Zach Schultz, you can follow him right down there at the Zach Schultz. Be sure to catch him each and every week right here on After Dark. Hopefully, I'll let you guys know as soon as I know if there will be someone coming in to take my place. And if someone does, you can catch Kiggles right here each and every week on After Dark. Mike Byrne, you can follow him right down there at Magic Man 1, or also known as really creepy teeth, jiggly eyes, face, tongue. Wow, that just looks phallic. Yep. And you can follow me right down here at Mike Schaffnit. Be sure to follow me and head over to the LOL Nation YouTube channel and check out the League of Legends Waypoint as well as Summoner Showcase, 2 weekly shows that I do over on that YouTube channel. That does it for me. That does it for After Dark. Everybody, again, I cannot say it enough. Thank you so much for staying with me, for staying with the show. I'll keep you guys updated as things progress for me. I will miss you all, and hopefully this won't be the last. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Team Shaftnet, Cheesecake